So I'm going to share 5 ideas, really, that to help you winning. Vince Lombardi, the coach of the Green Bay Packers, said, winning isn't everything, but wanting to win is. And we have to want to win. New Zealand as a nation, all this 100% pure garbage. Well, first of all, we're not. Who wants to be 100% anything? And why would you want to be pure anyway? Being impure is so much more fun. So, what we got to do as a nation is win the world from the edge. Win the world from the edge. Go to a World Cup and come home unbeaten, right, in soccer. Go to a World Cup in rugby and win the bloody thing again. In perpetuity from now on, I think that's going to be. Right? So, to win today all starts really, every small business needs to start here. Martin Luther King did not say, I have a vision statement. We all need a dream. My dream is to help New Zealand win the world from the edge. My dream is to do that through inspiring entrepreneurs, through inspiring people with ideas to get out there, get off their butts and take some chances and some risks and be brave and to change the world they're in. And to do that, you've got to operate in the age of now. There is no more new. New is already old by the time you think something's new. Your kids have been doing it for weeks illegally and not paying for it. Okay? And they know how to get whatever it is you want straight away and cheaper and faster. So there is no more new. What there is now is an immediate sense of velocity and immediacy. Every one of us, in one way or another, is seeking happiness, however we describe that. We've done a lot of work on what happiness means to people today. 15% of their happiness comes from nostalgia and the good old days and thinking about how it used to be and mom and dad and the family and dogs and stuff like that. And 15% comes from hope and dreams and all the stuff that Obama promised and didn't deliver. All that stuff. But 70% of people's happiness today is right here, right now. I want it now because I don't trust anybody else. I don't trust the banks. I don't trust corporates. I don't trust governments. I don't trust institutions. I don't trust it. I want it now. I want to be happy right here, right now. So you've got to be very immediate, very urgent, very fast. Speed is the new black. We are unbelievably slow and late, but slow. What time did your invitation say? So let's get into the age of now. The age of now, we have moved from an attention economy into a participation economy. It is no longer about getting people's attention. They want to engage with us. They want to be intimate with us. They want to talk to us. They want to listen to us. If you've got a decent idea, it's no problem. Attention is not the problem. Participation is the problem. How can they play? How can they consult? How can they talk? How can they get engaged with us? That's the thing. How participatory is your business idea? Information is a table stake. We are drowning in the stuff. Everybody has the same stuff. They ask the same people the same questions at the same time with the same results, the same answers. So everything looks just the same. People are not looking to you for information. They already know. And they will already find out. What they're looking for you is inspiration. Everything you've got to do now is to inspire people to get on the program because they can choose. They're not going to just do it for information. Knowledge, information, table stakes. Inspiration is what you've got to bring to the party. Interruption is beyond the pale. They want interaction. ROI, you've probably all been taught at some stage in your careers all kinds of models for measuring return on investment. Edward de Bono, lateral thinker, once said to me, Kevin, there is no point being brilliant at the wrong thing. It's like trying to teach Jonah Lomu to kick. Now let's give him the ball in space going forward. It'd be a more helpful thing to learn. So on ROI, there is an ROI that you should, to be successful, understand, predict, and feel intuitively about more than anything else on the world, and that is the return on involvement. How involved will people be with your dream? Will people be with your business? Will people be with your product? How involved will people be with your idea? Measure, predict, and monitor that, and you will win You will scorch home. Marketing. Anybody here in marketing? Hands up, anybody here in marketing? Marketing is dead. Not because you raised your hands, although it might be a contributing factor, I don't know, but not because you raised your hands. But the marketing, Kotler's out there teaching 3.0, and as he's teaching 3.0, it's already dead. All right? Because the whole point of awareness and the whole point of wondering where you put your mobile when you need to, the whole purpose of creating customers and creating competitive advantage. You haven't even got a handbag, mate. What's your excuse? If it was a girl stumbling around, we'd believe her. There's an off switch. There you go. Show him the mute switch. You must be using a Nokia. But anyway, upgrade. So all that stuff about marketing as she was taught, creating demand, creating products, creating benefits, creating attributes, and having rational things, and doing brand onions, and all this crap, doesn't matter anymore. The role is much higher purpose now. The role of marketers is to create a movement, to create a movement, to create a movement of inspiring people to join your cause, to join your idea. I come originally from the UK, as you can see, and I came to New Zealand in 1989. And this last year has been an amazing year for the UK, right? Are there any POMs here who dare admit it? Yeah, I know Richard came over with me. Not too many. Good. Good. That's good. London Olympics is probably one of the most successful Olympics, right? New Zealand performed superbly too, but it was a pretty successful sort of thing. Diamond Jubilee, the Queen, still alive and well, right? She's your Queen as well, right? At the moment, temporarily, for some of you, anyway. She's good. Plus, she's got married to Prince Philip, who's got to be good for a laugh, right? It's pretty funny. But there was also a royal wedding earlier this year, right? Did you all see that? Kate Middleton. And okay, you should have seen it because it's an important thing for New Age blokes. Just look at you. It's not exactly a New Age bloke audience, is it? You need help, you boys. You do. So this is going to give you something you can talk to chicks about in bars besides the rugby. So if you leave New Zealand, talking to chicks about rugby in New Zealand is good. That's the way to move forward. But in other countries, you need to talk about other things that are more sort of social and cultural thing. So I'm going to show you about the royal wedding now, so you'll be able to. This will help you. It's about creating a movement. More people watch that than watch the royal wedding. It's downloaded. We ran it for 2 weeks before the royal wedding, and more people watch that. 27 million people on Facebook. I mean, incredible. Prince Harry put it on his Facebook page. Incredible, incredible. Lombardi, winning's not a sometime thing, it's an all-the-time thing. You don't win once in a while. You don't do things right once in a while. You do them right all the time. Winning is a habit, unfortunately, so is losing. And what is the big habit is executional excellence, right? Leaders spend a lot of their time leading and talking and having meetings and consulting. That's all a waste of time. Leaders got to get out there and execute, okay? You have to execute. Goizueta, who built more shareholder value than anybody before, the Apple crowd, when he ran Coke, had a very simple maxim about performance. Meet, beat, repeat. Meet, beat, repeat. And the way he did that was by following the Tom Peters thing of fail fast, learn fast, and fix fast. People get very excited about that, and they get excited about the wrong part. The killer app is not the fail fast part. That's pretty easy. The killer app is fixing it really fast, because most of the time we don't learn. We're very slow. I mean, if you live in England, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose. It's how you place the blame that counts corporately, right? Whinging all the time. So what we've got to do is to learn, but then we've got to fix, because we spend too much time. When we screw up, we know we've screwed up. We know it's not working. We know it's not right. So what do? We analyze it. And we think about it. We have a meeting. We rationally come to some conclusions. And if it really gets desperate, we ask for advice. And then we call McKinsey, and it all turns to shit. Right? Just fix it! Get it fixed, right? Right? If it smells like a snake and it looks like a snake and it slithers like a snake, it's a snake, so cut its fucking head off really quickly and change it. Execution is everything. Churchill talked about success is the ability to go from one failure to another with a lot of enthusiasm. Right? You're entrepreneurs. That's your game, boys. That's the way. Blue ocean strategy, right? The only thing you need to know about the whole book is that graph. Every day, every morning, every week, once a week, call 10 random people from your company, or 5 if there's only 3 of you in the company, into your office and ask them to fill that box in. And don't let them leave the office until there's more things under eliminate than there is under create. Because we all create, but you don't have time or room or money to create unless you eliminate. Most of the business stuff you learn is of no use to you whatsoever. The business of doing business is all about yesterday, right? This is about empathy, intuition, judgment, decision-making, creativity. Eliminate all the crap from your life. Eliminate all the meetings, all the stupid emails that you keep reading, right? All the ridiculous meetings that you attend on someone else's agenda that are inefficiently run. Get out of all that stuff. You don't have the time for that stuff. Leave that to the big guys. You've got to work. People, we work with everyone, right? And the way management has been run is, the way I think about it, is this aid graph, right? And what an aid graph is what you assess, decide, and execute. Business as she has been run, leaders, like you guys, spend 50% of the time assessing, interrogating the data, reading the results, figuring it out. You then spend 30% time decision-making because you have read all the books and you want to do consensus and you want to be a team player and you want to involve and engage because you've read all the HR rubbish. So you spend all your time getting people onto the program. And then you only spend 20% of the time on execution because you leave that to all the Muppets because you're too big and too important and too strategic, right, to do the execution. That model is a 1990s model that has put Wall Street in the position that it's in. The model for entrepreneurs and for leaders now is completely reversed. This is what the new model looks like. Spend 20% time assessing it. Listen, business is easy. Business is easy. Why so complicated about it? If it was that complicated, most of you wouldn't be doing it. It's a simple thing, man. You've got your business sorted out. You know what it is you're trying to do. So just assess the situation. Consumers or customers, it doesn't matter what they say or do, because that's all rubbish, because everybody knows the same stuff. So don't waste your time on money doing focus groups or doing interviews on the internet, asking all this data. It's a waste of time. That doesn't make you world changing. That just makes you sort of world average, because everybody's doing the same stuff. What consumers or customers say or do is completely irrelevant. How they feel is transformational. But of course, they're not going to tell you how they feel. Do you love me? Of course I do, darling. What are you going to say? No? Of course you're not going to say no. You don't get laid then for months. It's ridiculous. You're going to say yes. You're going to tell people what they want to hear. Or what you should say. Of course I do, darling. I love you forever. Or at least until you make my dinner, and can I just watch the football? And we'll talk about this later. So, the way you win today is being closer to how consumers feel. Nobody told Jobs that they didn't want a CD player. Nobody told Jobs that they didn't want a Walkman, because they didn't know, right? But he understood how customers felt. He understood they wanted mobility. He understood they wanted freedom. He understood they wanted personalization. He understood that they didn't want to spend, perhaps buying albums anymore. He understood that browsing in record stores was, people didn't have time for that anymore, and they were doing everything online. So he reframed the whole thing, and he did that really through, not through design, but through being incredibly close to figuring out how consumers feel. Up the creativity, okay? There's all kind of leadership theories, you know, servant leaders, command and control, all kinds of leaders. The way to win today is to be a creative leader, to get creative people, to get your people thinking creatively, to inspire them and you to come up with ideas day in, day out, right? That's a revolutionary, because most people, that's not how businesses are run. Businesses are not run like R&D labs, they're run more like science rather than art. Business is an art today, because the consumer and the customer in this super VUCA world is changing and transforming at lightning speed. So we must think like artists. That's a revolution. Revolution starts with language. Revolution starts with language. Take a look at the language you use in your business. If it's the language of business, you are doomed to mediocrity. We want to use the language of wizards and artists. CEO, Chief Executive Officer, what a meaningless bunch of words that is. My role is not that. My job as CEO is Chief Excitement Officer. Imagine going into a bar, you know, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer. It's not going to get anything. Actually, you go into a bar, we have, at Saatchi and Saatchi, we have a T-shirt. It's black, of course, because we're all terribly creative. There's a black T-shirt, and on the front of this black T-shirt it says, I work for Saatchi and Saatchi. And on the back it says, and you don't. CMOs, Chief Marketing Officers, guess what Chief Marketing Officers do? They do marketing. And marketing is dead. But if you tell a guy he's a Chief Marketing Officer, what does he do? He goes marketing shit. So instead we should call him the Chief Magic Officer, because then he'll create magic. He can't help himself. Because if you call someone the Chief Magic Officer, he's going to do something magical. CIO, CI, is that what they call him? Yeah, Chief Information Officer. God, who wants any chief information officers? Fire all them. Information's just an enabler. We've all got it. He should become the chief ideas officer. Send him away to be liberated and come up with ideas. There's 5 creative keys. First of all, pour in emotion. Do not be rational, okay? Business is not science. The way to win today is not rational. The difference, Donald Kahn will tell you, a neurologist in BC, the difference between rational thinking and emotional thinking is simply this. Rational thinking leads to conclusions. Now we have meetings, and more meetings, to assess our conclusions and to confirm our conclusions. Then we'll have some more discussion and conclude that, you know, there's a way that we should go forward. Nothing will have happened for months. Emotion leads to something completely different, of course. Emotional thinking leads to action. And if you're in business, you're in the action business because the role of business is to get more people to join your movement, to inspire them to join your movement and to change whatever it is they were doing in the days of darkness before they met you. This is what I mean. Second thing that creative leaders do, they generate lots of small ideas. I went up to Procter & Gamble a few weeks ago at the request of their CEO. They're our biggest client. We do $2 billion worth of business with P&G. And I used to talk to their global leadership team about how to find the big idea. You know, how do we find it? Because they're struggling at the moment. You know, pricing's got too high. They're being attacked by retailers. How do we find the big idea? So I went into this meeting, top 30 execs from P&G there, and I said, okay, I'm here to talk to you about how to find the big idea. There are none, and walked out. I walked back very quickly, $2 billion, right? So I walked back, and I said to them, there is no point now. This is search for the big idea, nothing happens, man. What creative companies do out there is they get lots and lots of small ideas out there relentlessly, regularly, and then they watch them fail, and they learn, and they fix. Because consumers and customers now will make one of your ideas big. They will show interest in it. It will touch them. Here's an idea that we started in one bar without any sense of whether it would be a good idea or not. We didn't know. So we just built the thing and put it out there, and it turned into a phenomenon driven by customers.
Salgo con los chicos.
¡Vení para acá! ¡Pirata!
Hola. No me olvidé de la cena en la casa de tus viejos. Lo que pasa es que estoy internado.
¿Quién habla? Ah, hola amor, ¿qué hora es? Estoy en karate, partiendo tablas. Cuidando a mi sobrinito. Está llorando, no lo puedo parar.
Acá en el baño, una cagadera, no me puedo mover del baño. No, estoy en casa, en el gimnasio.
Vamos, una más.
Estoy en medio de un embotellamiento como de 10 kilómetros. No voy a llegar, ¿eh?
Mi amor, no sabes lo que me ha pasado.
Igual no te preocupes, porque yo me voy a quedar en casa durmiendo. Estoy re cansada. ¿Hablamos mañana? Dale, un besito.
Creative leaders have got to be disruptors. Evolution takes hundreds of years. Revolution takes 30 years. You've just got to disrupt everything. You've got to reframe everything that you see. Incremental's no good. You play incremental, you'll get overpowered. Jobs reframed presence into absence. Think what he did. You know, he started with an IBM computer, and where did he end up? Took away everything, right? Give you a tablet. That's it. Charge you a premium for it. Look what he did with the iPod. He took away CDs. He took away record stores. He took away record labels virtually. Charge you a fortune for a nano. He reframed presence into absence brilliantly. Creative leaders surprise with the obvious. Everything seems so obvious the day after. Obviously, Apple, you would only buy Apple at a Apple retailer if you could. But Jobs turned that idea down 26 times before, because he said, we're not a retailer. Man, that's not the point. The point is that we're an experiential marketer, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to give people the real Apple experience. Now, $4,500 per square foot is what an Apple retail turns over, the most of any retailer in the world. Obvious. Okay? So surprise with the obvious.